Good morning, Vet Tech students. We're going to spend a few minutes on a video today talking about some of the basics of canine behavior and then a little introduction into aggressive canine behaviors. You've already watched a couple of videos dealing with basic training and reading puppy body language and managing separation anxiety and destructive behaviors associated with that. Now we're going to move on to talk a little bit about aggression. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit overall about behavior, and then we'll list some of the different types of aggression. After that, you'll watch a couple of other case-based videos of managing some dogs with aggression issues. But overall, any behavior is something, any action an animal does, anything it does. Most of our dog behaviors tend to be a combination of instinctive actions inherited that they were just born with and were bred into a particular breed. For example, fighting dogs were bred to be aggressive. Chasing, hunting, pointing dogs were bred for those characteristics. So some of those things are instinctive in them. And the rest of it is learned behavior based on experience. Again, instinctive behaviors, genetically programmed. Many of them are automatic. Some of them are connected to life stages. Learned behaviors are based on experience. They involve things like reward and punishment, trial and error. If you took a psychology class in Brookfield High School, then you've probably learned a little bit about learning. And I'm not in any way trained as a psychologist, nor do I have extensive training in behavior. What you're going to get is a brief overview of how veterinarians treat animal behaviors and how trainers treat dog behaviors. But in order to understand that, one of the things you have to understand is that a dog is not a person. I know most of you would say, right now, my dog thinks he's a person. He doesn't. Your dog is a dog and behaves and reacts like a dog. So let's talk about things that are typical through the stages of a dog's life. Some of this should be reviewed. Brand new born puppies, from the time they're born till about 2 weeks old, can't see, can only hear a little bit, and they need to socialize to each other and to their mama, which means not a lot of handling unless you really need to. If you think there's a puppy in distress, or you think that a puppy has a problem, or you just want to check the gender of all of the puppies, a little bit of handling is okay if mom is calm, cool, and collected about it. But you don't want to spend a lot of time handling these little guys. They need to be with mama. But from the time they're 2 to 6 weeks old and they're exploring their world, you want to handle them a lot. They need to learn to trust people. So they need to be handled gently, but they do need to be handled. By the time puppies are 7 to 8 weeks old, they should be going to wherever hopefully their forever home is going to be, whether it's with you or with another family. They should be weaned onto solid food, and you can start training them. You can start housebreaking. You can start teaching them things like down and sit and stay. But you have to be careful. These are preschoolers. These are toddlers. Their attention span is short. They need to nap a lot, and you can't be too forceful. At about 10 weeks old is what we call the fear imprinting period for puppies. Some things that scare them once in this time might be scaring them forever. I had a student years ago who told me a story about a puppy that she had, where when it was about 10 weeks old and they were pouring its food into a stainless steel bowl up on the counter, and somebody turned around quick to answer a question and accidentally knocked the bowl from the counter onto the floor right in front of the puppy. Crash, bang, clatter. And the puppy got so scared that it would never eat out of a stainless steel bowl again. They had to switch the kind of food bowl they gave this puppy because it just ran away every time it saw one of those. That is fear imprinting. By the time these puppies are 3 or 4 months old, they're starting to test some boundaries a little bit. They have a longer attention span. I would say these are kind of like the upper elementary, middle school puppies. They're not quite in puberty yet. They're growing fast and they're curious, curious, curious. And you need to start teaching them what is okay and what is not okay. What I suggest is you want to praise and reward good behaviors. Get some little, what people sometimes call high value treat. Little pieces of cheese, little pieces of ham, little pieces of chicken, something super yummy, and little pieces. You're not giving your dog a chicken leg every time it's good, but a little nibbly something that tastes so good and always comes along with good boy or good girl or good puppy or its name or something good. High pitched, friendly voice, loose, easy body language. Puppies read all of that as whatever I did was great. And a quick, stern or no or and redirect to a behavior it's going to get praised for whenever it does something bad. This kind of consistency is going to get your puppy to focus on you and get your puppy to figure out what it's supposed to do. Just punishing puppies for what they've done doesn't help. You have to catch them in the moment and tell them what they're doing is good or redirect them to the thing you want them to do. Puppies are good learners. They will figure it out. By about 4 to 8 months old, we're at a place where puppies are gonna wanna get out in the world even more. The things that scare them, they might actually try a little bit. You have to pay close attention. There can be a second fear imprinting period in this stage. And this is the point in its life that most veterinarians, me included, recommend doing spaying or neutering of dogs. There is some controversy about that, and I've read some studies that say that larger breed dogs should probably be neutered later, that it's better for them to have those sex hormones for longer as they're growing. There's all kinds of debate in the community about this and lots of studies yet to be done. But at this point, my feeling is that if you're not going to use this animal as a breeder, then you should neuter it by before it's a year old in order to get the hormones of sexual reproduction out of their system. There are some levels of estrogen and testosterone that are produced by the adrenal glands, so you're not completely removing those hormones from these animals. By 1 to 4 years old, and this varies breed to breed, from about a year to 18 months old is a period that some behaviorists will call social dominance. But this is when we start to get a young adult grown up dog. For some dogs, they have to be 2 or 3 before they're all the way grown up. For some dogs, it happens when by the time they're a year old. But this is a dog that you can really start teaching. This is the point at which dogs that are being trained to be behavioral companion dogs, um, police dogs, seeing eye dogs go into their intensive training by the time they're about a year old because those brains are ready to learn and they want to, and it gives them something to do. It's great for these dogs, and this is the time when a lot of that training begins. Important training guidelines. Praise the good behaviors, be consistent. Everybody in the house has to follow the same rules. You don't want a dog that listens to dad and not to mom, that listens to the kid, but not one kid and not another kid. Everybody has to enforce the same rules. That consistency makes the dog feel safe. It knows its place in the house, which is everybody is the boss of the dog. Now we're going to take a few minutes to talk about some of the different kinds of aggression before I will direct you to a case study dog training video where we see someone doing some interventions for dogs that have aggression problems. The most common fear-inducing aggression in terms of people being scared of dogs is what used to be called dominant aggression, although most behaviorists don't use those terms anymore. They'll use owner-directed aggression or reactive aggression. These are dogs that are coming directly at you. Something has triggered this dog to attack. Predatory aggression is another term that's sometimes used. In order to diagnose this kind of aggression, it takes really careful observation of the dog. But the common body language that you'll see with this kind of direction is that straight ahead look, ears either out to the side or forward, a wrinkled nose. Sometimes the hair on the back of their neck stands up. Their tails can be stiff and out and wagging sharply. Um, these are dogs that are reacting in a negative way, and this is a dog that will bite. Most dogs will start with body language alone, then they'll move to vocalization, they'll growl, they'll bare their teeth, and if you continue moving at these dogs, it will escalate to a bite. It will. Here are some pictures of dogs showing that kind of aggression. Again, the word dominant, very old school. Owner-directed aggression or reactive aggression are terms that I see a lot more currently. Do not grab this dog's bone. Do not come at this dog directly at its face. What usually needs to be done for dogs that are acting this aggressively is not to further aggress them. You want to calm that dog down. You want to distract it from whatever is triggering this reaction, calm it down, and praise it for being calm and relaxed. Find a command. Some behaviorists like settle and a treat. But as soon as that dog learns settle, means I sit, I lay down, I calm down, I move over to my settle rug or my settle corner, and I'm safe there. That will interrupt this behavior cycle. To not come at these dogs. These dogs are going to hurt you. Fear aggression looks very different. Here is a dog that is scared. This dog will also bite you. Its body is crouched, its head is turning away, its ears are more back and to the side than forward and straight out. Um, these dogs are scared. However, similar interventions will sometimes help these dogs. You want to make this dog feel safe. You need to back off. You need to give this dog some distraction that will calm it down. Because if you come at this dog is going to bite you too. Maternal aggression is a thing that some female dogs will go through when they're having puppies, which is why you have to be really careful those first couple of weeks. Some dogs will become very aggressive if they feel like their puppies are being overhandled or threatened. So you want to handle those puppies when mama is up and getting a drink or getting a snack. Distract mama away from the puppies. Do what you have to do. Let mama come back to the puppies. Let her see that her puppies are safe and that she is safe.